Hello and welcome to Guitarist Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.guitarist.com. My name is Jason JROCK Houston. It's my honor and great pleasure to be speaking with two members of the band Bullet to the Heart, and we're speaking today with guitarist tBrian Benischeck and drummer Draven DC. Welcome to the show, guys. How you doing?
Glad to be here. Hey, what's going on?
So, how long has the band been together? And you guys, are you original members of the band?
Yep, founding members. It's been about 6 years, I want to say. 5 to 6 years. 2017, baby.
And so, how did you guys first come together? Did you guys know each other from growing up or playing on the same music scene?
So the bass player and I grew up together, but how I met Draven and Audrey is we were playing at the same show. I was playing, like I had a set I put together with some backtracks I made myself. And they came up to me after my set and they were like, "Hey man, we like your stuff. Like, you want to be in our band?" And I was like, well, let me see how you guys sound first. And and the rest is history. It's kind of like a reverse audition.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow, cool. And I love the name Bullet to the Heart. How kind of really metal sounding. How did you guys come up with that? Because I know there's one of the hardest things to do is come up with a band name.
Yeah, so Audrey and I were in a band before we met the guys, obviously, and we were called Bulletproof, which is like super generic and lame.
Yeah. This is really.
When we got our new members, she wrote a song titled Bulletproof that actually was the concept to our very first album in 2017. And in that album, in the song, there's a lyric and it says, "Took a bullet straight to my heart and it ricocheted to you." And we were kind of like, hey, it's like a bullet to the heart. And we kind of just came up with the name right there. It's
kind of cool. I mean, it kind of tells the story of, of the band's formation. And what I love when I heard the name, when the publicist sent me the press release on band, that's one of the first things I know is Bullet to the Heart. I thought, man, what a visual right there. And interestingly enough, it kind of tells the story of the band. So, I mean, it's really visual. And I love the fact that it comes from a lyric.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And so let's talk a little bit about you, Brian. You're a guitar player and founding member. So who are some of your influences growing up as far as, guitar players or even bands that kind of influenced you to do what you're doing now?
I mean, the first band I really listened to, on my own, paid my money,
Yeah.
Gave my mom $10 to buy it on iTunes is Linkin Park.
Wow.
I don't know how deep you want me to go, but
well, that's good. Okay, that gives me.
The short end of it, I found out about Linkin Park from an anime music video, AMVs as they were called back in the day.
Yeah.
Like a Naruto one, and then from there, I played the Guitar Hero games, and I was into Metallica, the thrash stuff growing up, but also 3 Days Grace was a big influence on me, and then later on Devin Townsend and just some more weirder stuff. So I kind of into a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
I definitely started off with the alternative kind of thrashy stuff.
That's kind of interesting. I mean, your influences are all over the place, but I think that's what makes this band so unique. Now, you mentioned, for example, Devin Townsend. Now, let me ask you, did you ever hear the one album he did with Steve Vai? Because that was kind of my introduction to him, and then everything he's done after that is really kind of far out and different from that.
What was the album called?
Sex and Religion. It came out in the early 90s, and that was one album where Steve Vai had a vocalist, and it was before.
You're talking about the Vai stuff?
Yeah, the Vai stuff. Yeah, I think.
I listened to some of that stuff, but honestly, I listened to more of the Strappy Young Lad, and there were these 4 albums in particular where he did live. He just did live concerts where he just played the albums front to back.
Yeah.
So I really like Key, and I think Deconstruction is the other one,
I think on his own stuff he really kind of does his own thing, which you would think he would do, and it really is something different compared to what he did with Steve Vai. But again, when you're playing with Steve Vai, you kind of do what
Steve Vai wants.
Yeah. and another thing interesting that you just said, Brian, was that kind of just goes to show that I'm a little older than you guys is to talking about getting your first album on iTunes or whatever that was. I mean, back in my day, I mean, you'd get the vinyl, you get the cassette, you get the CD. You'd go to the record store, which so that right there kind of shows you how the world has changed. I mean, in the last couple decades. I mean, I live in Los Angeles, and I get most of my music, to be honest, off of Amazon.com, because unless you want to go to the local Target and get the Beach Boys' greatest hits, you're probably not going to find the latest Bullet to the Heart CD, there.
I mean, back in the day, like, I ended up getting a Linkin Park CD. Somebody gave me Hybrid Theory. But I mean, to even kind of date myself now, like, no one buys music anymore.
I mean, that's interesting.
I was like, I want to buy the song online, but now everyone just streams it nowadays. So
now let me ask you guys that, because it's kind of it's just kind of modern technology. It's a way of the world now. But a lot of see, that was a thing back in my day. Like, you really would support your band. Like, I'm a huge Kiss fan, Queen fan. Whenever a new Queen album or Aerosmith or Kiss album would come out, I'd go out and buy the album. I'm like, okay, this is the latest album in my collection. When the band would come to town, I'd go to the concert, I'd buy a t-shirt. I want to support my bands. And like you said, a lot of music fans aren't doing that these days, and so it's a lot harder for bands like you guys to make money. But do you find yourself guilty of that? Like, I'll just buy the latest single, or I'll just buy it on iTunes. I mean, do you find your guys, you're doing that yourselves?
I mean, me personally, I use like YouTube Music for streaming, because it kind of comes with like the no ads on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I recently got into vinyl, actually. I mean, I listened to some vinyl when I was really young. My dad has a record player.
Yeah.
But I find if I really like an artist, I'll buy the vinyl if they have it. Or a lot of times if they sell stuff on Bandcamp, you can buy like, the high quality version of the audio files, like the waves or the FLACs or whatever. Because just remembering System of a Down's another big influence, because I just bought one of their vinyls recently.
And vinyl has been making a comeback like in the last 10 to 15 years. And the interesting thing about vinyl is a lot of the bands are releasing stuff on vinyl, even their new releases. And what they're finding is it's a one way that musicians are able to kind of cut even, because a lot more people these days are more willing to pay $28, $30 for a vinyl if you get a nice package. So not just the record company's making a little something off it, but the band gets to make a little something, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I certainly love vinyl as a concept, especially if it's vinyls of older stuff, because everything's recorded digitally nowadays.
Yeah.
Not that that's a huge issue, but like there's something that, it sounds a certain way when everything is completely analog, from the recording process to press it onto, a piece of plastic or wax, whatever they're made out of, and then just having the record player go straight into an amplifier, listening to everything analog is kind of cool, because I find it kind of hilarious that a lot of like cheaper record players are like, oh, next to Bluetooth. I'm like, what's the point of the record player then?
Yeah. And let's talk to you, Brian, now a little bit. Who are some of your influences as far as drummers or even bands when you were growing up? And I got to tell you, in prepping for the interview, I went on YouTube, I went on Facebook, and I seen that you had some stuff up there on Facebook, Brian. Some like shots of you drumming from a stage. Pretty cool stuff.
Do you want to answer that, Draven? Yeah,
Draven. Excuse me, Draven. I'm sorry. Yeah, Draven.
Yeah, you're good, bro. So influences definitely at a younger age, the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
Really definitely caught my eye. I always wanted to be a guitar player, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I never could figure it out, so I started looking into drummers and bands, and I realized after I saw the Rev live that he was the coolest guy in the room. So definitely him. Definitely took some influences from Tommy Lee from Motley Crue.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that, because in watching some of your videos that you have up on YouTube, I mean, there's typically two types of drummers. A guy that kind of just sits in the back of the stage and keeps time, and guys that are a little more of a showman, physical player, and that seems to be you. And I think even just watching your videos on YouTube, I'm like, it makes me want to go check out your band or anything you're involved with, because you are such a showman on the drums.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's so fun. It's such a fun experience. Like, I want to have a good time,
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of Carmine Appice, but he's one of my all-time favorite drummers, and I've actually had the chance to interview him a couple times, and he was telling me that if you look at any of the bands he's ever been in, from Ozzy Osbourne, Rod Stewart, or anything he's ever done, Vanilla Fudge, his concept of playing the drums is always kind of kind of bringing the drums to the front of a stage as opposed to the back of the stage, kind of making people really notice what he's doing, and have to look at the rest of the band.
That's an awesome concept.
Yeah.
It's one reason I love Tommy Lee when he introduced the spinning drum set.
Yeah. And,
I mean, he said he got it from a dream, and the one day he was like, "I'm gonna do it. Like, we're just gonna do it." And he brought himself into the crowd, and think of the time period. It was like so innovative, and no one's done that before.
And when you think of something like that, not only coming up with the idea, but even going to the process of trademarking it, because he came up with the idea, and I know he'd sued some guy that tried to steal the idea, but I mean, that's really kind of thinking ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like drummers that really bring the presence. That's why I like Draven's drumming so much. But I understand that just sitting back and keeping time. There's certainly a lot of genres where that's kind of what you want. You don't want you don't want your gospel drummer to be slapping the sticks real hard. But I've seen a lot of bands where you think that you want that kind of a presence from a drummer, but they're kind of just timidly barely hitting the drums. So I appreciate that you have a lot of presence.
And then I guess the drummer, people do not realize, is sometimes the most important guy in the room, in the sense that even when you're in a recording studio, from what I understand, the songs are generally centered around the drums, and the drums are usually correct me if I'm wrong, but are the drums usually the first thing that get recorded, or the last thing?
So they're usually the first thing.
That's what I thought, yeah.
The drums, you have the click track in your ear when you're recording, and you have the scratch guitar.
Yeah.
So the guitar later gets recorded based on how the drum playing is, because you want to nail that on time. You want to be cohesive as a unit. And
I would think too, probably any musician too, but especially a drummer too, that as a drummer, you want to kind of beat the hell out of your drums, but at the same time, I think if you can play real aggressive, let's say a heavy, brutal song, at the same time play beautiful drum beats on a beautiful ballad, that just shows kind of that you're capable of anything.
Yeah, definitely. There's you got to put some restraint on yourself, because nobody wants. Heavy music's great. I love heavy music.
Yeah.
I really love heavy music, but to hear heavy music consistently kind of gets old, and
sure,
it gets old to play. So you got to spice it up and keep the listeners guessing.
Sure, and let me ask you, Draven, on that front. I mean, a lot of people will tell you, okay, I started playing the drums because it's a real physical thing, and I love. It's a great way to get your aggression out. Is that really true? Is that why you kind of got into it, or is there any truth to that?
I think there's a little bit of truth to that. I wouldn't let it replace any physical activity you're doing, but definitely, my body's changed playing drums consistently.
Yeah, and let me ask you guys, because I seen the video for your latest single, which is for the song Black Widow. Now, to me, I watched the video. Great song, first of all. The video, though, I watch and kind of get the concept. Okay, it's Black Widow. It's kind of based on, this is my interpretation, tell me if I'm wrong or not, maybe based on a strong, tough woman. A woman doesn't take any crap, she goes out and does her thing. That's my interpretation. Is that at all what the song is about?
Yeah, it's a little bit about that. It's the way that Audrey would describe it is, so she's this assassin, right? She's a female assassin. She's got a crew behind her, which is the rest of the bandmates disguising themselves as the bartender or the bar owner and stuff. And she's purposely luring the town's creeps.
Wow.
The scum of the earth that have wronged people, and she lures them in her little lair, which the bar is in on it. She takes them out one by one. Oh,
kind of temptation, that's a cool concept. And on that, interpretation it's just that. I mean, I watched the video, and I might get something different than somebody else watches the same video, and that's the beauty. That's the art of music or music video. Now, how much do you guys enjoy making a music video like that, and having to come up with a concept or a storyline?
It's I just love anything that comes to do with video production. So I love making the music videos. It's also my favorite part.
Yeah, and
that one was a real fun one to do. We take a lot of influences with like movies. We love watching movies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and our videographer Akash from Ritual Noise, that's his company. He's another one. He likes all the really artistic stuff. So we take inspiration from that, along with Audrey's storytelling in the song, and we just kind of go ham on it and see how we can translate that into a visual product.
And what's interesting is in watching the video, that's exactly the feeling I got. It was kind of like watching a mini movie, like something you'd see in the theater, you know, an action film or something. And I could really see the song kind of fitting in an action movie or something like that. And when you guys go to do a video, a lot of times, you know, you'll have a video director, somebody come up with a concept, a storyboard for it, I know, but does it always have to be what you wrote the song about, or is that part of the fun of it? Is, okay, well, this is what the song is really about, but okay, we're going to...
You know, so I think Black Widow is the first time we did a literal translation of the song to video. Everything else has its own interpretive motion, or it has imagery, or it has like a concept based on the lyrics. This was the first time we went so literal, and it was because the lyrics paint a picture and paint a storyline. We were like, it's too good to pass up. It's literally that story. She literally wrote it about that feeling, because, I mean, women in the industry, women in real life, they go through that stuff. The creeps at the bar think they own it, and it's that kind of concept you wanted to bring to put a spin on it, like, quite literally. Yeah,
and what's interesting is, in prepping for the interview today, I was watching that video last night, and before I even talked to you, it's interesting that I picked up on, and maybe that's because of how good the video and the song is, that lyrically, or just even a lot of times I watch a video and I kind of, okay, this is the story I kind of get that they're trying to tell. And I was able to kind of pick up on that right away. And not that I'm a great interpreter or anything, but I think more than anything what that says is kind of the band, you know, message delivered. In other words, it's really good, I would think, as a songwriter. You write a song and people immediately get what you're writing about. They immediately get it. Okay, message delivered.
Yeah, it certainly helps when if you know, people are able to understand that what we're trying to convey.
Yeah. And on the flip side of,
I suppose it can also be fun to just kind of throw people off. I know you're saying earlier, like, oh, this is like what you were intending, but I've seen music videos, like, I forgot which band, but there's one music video where it's like they're doing a playthrough, but they're just in the woods and they're playing like sticks and logs and stuff. That also is like a fun spin. Kind of have the video kind of nothing to do with what's going on in the song.
And on the flip side, like, also talk about interpretation. I mean, as you know, as a songwriter, I also imagine when people come up and tell you they enjoy your song or what it means to them, a lot of times, maybe because of their own life experience, they hear a different message, and you're thinking, well, that's not what the song is really about. But if that's what you got out of it, great. I love to hear that, you know, our song touched you that way, you know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. We had a song that was a single off of our last album, Transcendence. The song is called Decay. She wrote it about this way bigger concept that I would just butcher right now because I'm not thinking. But we've gotten a lot of people that took it as almost like a relationship experience.
Wow. That is
based on how the lyrics were. Like, oh, it reminds me of my ex-wife or my ex-girlfriend, or the way that we had this no give and take or abusive relationship, and she was like, wow, I had no intent on that, but like it kind of worked out that way just based on how the lyrics flow in the song. And it touched a lot of people, and people were really like into it because they felt that it was like a personal song.
Oh, wow. So does Audrey, is she the principal songwriter, or does everybody in the band contribute?
I'd say that she's the lyricist.
Okay.
Yeah, she does all the lyrics are her 100%.
Wow. And so, Brian, when you put the band together, was it just a...
It was all of us. It was like, okay, just to clarify on that, I'm like, oh, you know, founding member.
Yeah.
They had a band, and Tom and I were absorbed into it. But
okay.
We created a new thing out of that. Like, we're all founding members.
Okay.
There's been no lineup changes.
Okay, so I guess what I was asking is it the fact that you and Audrey were already kind of working together and knew each other, is that kind of what led to her being the vocalist? I guess what I'm asking, did you always want to have a female vocalist, or is it just that's who you were working with at the time?
No, I've been in other bands, especially at the time period. So it's like right before her, I was in a bunch of bands that had dudes in it, right? Like that's like normal thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was actually in a band with one of her cousins.
Wow.
And he was kind of an annoying a-hole, I guess.
Yeah.
And, we made the switch because she attended a practice and she kind of sang for us a little bit, and she kind of stuck out in my mind, man. Like, her voice was really unique. She kind of did the hailstorm thing at the time, a little bit of grunginess in there. So when he exited from the band, I called her up because that was the only other vocalist I could get, at the time. And I was very open to the concept of having a female lead because at the time, Hailstorm was really big, and This Moment was just like mainstream. And I was like, dude, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I'm always about like uniqueness and doing something different. I don't want to blend in. I want to stick out. And the way she performed, it stuck out in my brain. So I was like, let's get that. Let's do a female-led band. I want to do heavy metal, but like with a chick. It's been working out so far.
I'm with you. Once upon a time, that was a very unique thing. It's not so different now. I mean, there are a lot of female-fronted bands. I mean, one of my all-time favorites got to be the Butcher Babies. I mean, that's a perfect example of what you're talking about. I mean, a band fronted by two sexy, talented, vocalists. I mean, and that's just one example. But I think it does give the band a unique edge, something different for people to check out. And and a lot of times people look at a woman and they'll think, okay, she's automatically she must be a pop singer. But you listen to Bolt to the Heart. You see the video for Black Widow, and you're like, oh man, this chick, this band, they really can throw it down,
Yeah, I definitely think it gives us a little bit of an edge, because early on, we played with a lot of, just heavy metal. I'm getting some feedback, just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, it sounds all right on my end, but I was going to ask you, too, so what is currently going on? Like, Black Widow, this is the latest single. Are you guys working towards a new album, or is this off the latest album?
Go ahead. Sure, yeah. So we got the opportunity to record with a certain individual at Riffs Studios. I'm not going to say it, but Justin from Miss May I, he helped us produce an EP. So Black Widow was the first song off that EP. So we're going to release a couple more songs, and then the EP's going to follow with that.
And you guys, are you guys currently out on the road, or are you going to wait till the EP's released?
So we're going to try to time it right. I would like to release the EP first, and then sometime early next year, I would like to go on the road. We've definitely been getting offers and stuff, but we're just trying to find that right one,
And let me ask, another question I got to ask you guys: how did you hook up with Pavement Entertainment? That's a great little label. I mean, your publicist Barbara, she's always giving me great bands to interview off the label, but what I love about is the fact that it's a label that is actually owned by a musician. Tim King, the bass player from Soil, he's in this metal band. You'd think he'd do nothing but sign metal acts. They've got everything from metal to rap to Candlebox, Puddle of Mud, and I just love that, and they really get behind the artist, more than anything.
Yeah, so we actually have a mutual friend. His name is Jason Mout. He's kind of someone that's worked with me behind the scenes, kind of giving me feedback and helping the band grow. Wow.
Well, what a way to make it grow, because my experience with Pavement is, like I said, they got great bands on their roster, and I really dig the fact that they don't just drop you after one album. They really try to develop the bands and get behind them, and that's not too common these days. I mean, it's amazing if you talk to a band that even has a record label, a record deal these days,
Yeah, it's definitely not as
common as it once was.
Common as it used to be.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed talking to you guys. The interview is going to be going up in about sometime within the next 2 weeks. Once I have a date for you, I'll let you know. Feel free to post on any of your sites. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else you'd like to say to everybody listening to this?
No, just follow us on socials. Hit up our Bloodline group on Facebook. We also got a Patreon. Check out our merch. Help support if you like what you're hearing.
And so one more question before I let you guys go. How would you describe overall sound? Like, would you guys? I would kind of say you're a cross between like an alternative rock band, modern day metal, but I can say that you're a full blown on metal band. How would you describe the sound of a band?
We both think something, but I'd say that we cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
I don't ever try to write anything with a specific genre in mind. So we got some heavier stuff, we got some lighter stuff, we have some wacky off the side stuff. So I think that I'm not necessarily trying to pander to anyone.
No, but
I'd say that we definitely have something for everyone.
I would agree with that, because I got it. In all fairness to you guys, I got to tell you, until your publicist sent me the press release on the band, I've never heard of the band. So to be honest with everybody listening, the only thing I've heard so far is Black Widow. But I will tell you, the track and the video was strong enough, in my opinion, that I can't wait to hear the rest of the EP when it's released, or when you release future music. I'm going to be coming out and checking out whatever you guys put out there, because just based on the one song and video, it was that good to me. And that's what I liked about it, is even though I'm just basing my opinion on the one song, I'm kind of, that's the problem I had. I can't pigeonhole these guys. I can't say they're metal. I can't say they're they're a little, it seemed like there's a little bit, even in the one song, there's a little bit of everything in this one song for anybody that's a music fan.
Yeah, I'd certainly say it's, even with our older releases, and including what's going to be coming out on this EP especially, we have some stuff that kind of sounds like Black Widow on the EP, and then we also have stuff that's a complete 180 from that, something like that. So,
so the older,
we try to not just be like a one-note,
one trick pony. Yeah. So people want to go in the meantime and check out the older releases or purchase them. Can they get physical copies, or are you just available digitally right now?
No, we have both physical and digital. You can hit up our website, Bullet to the Heart at bigcartel.com for physical. We'll sign them. They're only $10. Or we're on any streaming site. You can look up Bullet to the Heart. We're on there.
Okay, well, Brian and Draven, I'd like to thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to me. It was a blast getting to know you guys, and I really want to say, let's do it again when you drop a new single. I'd love to talk to you guys again, so let's keep in touch, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. If you want, send me the email if you have my email address. We'd love to chat about new stuff. We got something new coming out within the next, 2 months here.
Okay, we will do that. You guys take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Chaotic Riffs Magazine.